Hey folks, welcome back to Canada's Boxing Channel. Thursday, November the 6th. Hope everyone's doing well, having a good day, or had a good day, I guess, for most people. Thursday, November the 6th is over. It's already evening time here, and time zone wise, it's already Friday in some parts of the world. Anyhow, I saw an interesting news article. I guess it was on TalkSport. Earlier on today I saw it, so I may be a little bit behind the times. And it was postulating that Fabio Wardley, British heavyweight, who's 20-0-1, most recently disposed of Joseph Parker, might actually not next fight the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, Olexander Usyk. And as we know, the WBO is next up to bat, as it were, with respect to mandatories. And so most of us were assuming that unless Olexander Usyk relinquished that belt or retired, that Usyk's next fights would be against Fabio Wardley. But the WBO have said that if Olexander Usyk provides some reason why this mandatory should be further delayed, because of course, as we know, Olexander Usyk had an extension, I guess is the right word, to defend his WBO belt due to a lingering back injury. And we've been told that talks were underway with Team Wardley and Team Usyk. But the WBO, maybe they know something we don't. Because the WBO came out and said, to the effect, that if Olexander Usyk has some sort of good reason to further delay, then they might well order Fabio Wardley defend his interim title against none other than Britain's very hot prospect, somebody who's being touted as the next big thing in boxing, Moses Itauma. Now, I spoke the other day about how Moses Itauma seems to have difficulty in getting a fight. He's fought a total of 5 minutes and 45 seconds, if memory serves, this year. Totally under 20 minutes in the last 2 years, and I moaned at some length about that in a previous video. But if he was to be ordered to challenge Fabio Wardley for the WBO interim belt, that in my mind would set aside a number of questions that myself and a bunch of others have. Mostly, is Moses Itauma as billed? We are being told he's the next coming of, insert whatever name you like, that he's the best thing since sliced bread. Well, if he gets to fight Fabio Wardley, we're really going to find out if he lives up to the hype. Now, he should be technically a better boxer than Fabio Wardley. We all know the Fabio Wardley story. Went from recruitment consultant, dabbling in a few unlicensed or white-collar fights, and he's gradually gone up and up and up until he's now at the absolute, well, not quite the pinnacle, but he's within hailing distance of the pinnacle of the heavyweight division. So I'm not sure if this fight will happen. I mean, I've got no more information than what I read on TalkSport. But if he does get to fight Fabio Wardley, it'll show us something. I mean, Fabio Wardley isn't going to do a Dillian White, I wouldn't think, and just show up and collect a paycheck. Fabio Wardley isn't going to do what some of Moses Itauma's other opponents have done, which is just seemingly stand there to get hit. And most importantly, Fabio Wardley can hit back. Now, I see a few problems with this postulated fight. Not least, Fabio Wardley and Moses Itauma each have the same trainer. So I think Moses Itauma has been with Ben Davison from the get-go. Fabio Wardley, of course, has his original trainer still in the camp. So I suppose one of them will have to pick. They can't both be trained by the same guy for the fight. Ben Davison, according to some, can do magic tricks, but appearing in both corners is at the same time probably isn't one of them. I would guess that Fabio Wardley would go somewhere else and that Moses would stay with Ben Davison, which, of course, would give Moses quite the advantage in that he would know Fabio Wardley's strengths and weaknesses inside out. It would be an interesting fight. I would want Fabio Wardley to win, and that's no disrespect against young Moses. I'm certainly not a hater of young Moses. It's just I actually really like Fabio, and I like his backstory. So, as far as I'm concerned, I would be cheering for Fabio Wardley. But if Moses Itauma is 3/4 as good as Moses Itauma cheerleaders say, well, then Moses Itauma should prevail. More skilled in pure technical ability, maybe a southpaw advantage, maybe a corner advantage. The younger man, of course, he's 20 compared to Fabio's 30, though neither are old by heavyweight standards at all. It would be a step up for Moses by far. I mean, it would be, in my humble opinion, maybe not so humble, my opinion, the first real live dog that Moses Itauma has faced. That's about all I know. Interesting on a number of levels. Does it indicate that Olexander Usyk is really sort of on the way out, looking to retire, maybe to get a much bigger paycheck against, I don't know, Fury 3, a fight I have no interest in watching, AJ 3, another fight I've got no interest in watching, Jake Paul, a fight I've got negative amounts of interest in watching. Who else would be a big name? Some years ago, you'd have said Deontay Wilder, but now Deontay Wilder is very much yesterday's man, a person who, in my opinion, probably shouldn't really be boxing anymore. Hard to say, really. Or does Olexander Usyk just say, you know what, I'm done. I've got nothing left to prove. I'm going to retire. I've dipped my toe into Hollywood. He was in a show with The Rock. Probably got more money than he or his kids or his yet-to-be-conceived grandkids could spend, I would think. I would also imagine that money goes further in the Ukraine than it would in other parts of the world as well. I don't know. Never been there. So if it happens that Fabio Wardley and Moses Itauma are ordered, that would be a big fight in Britain, for sure. I'm not sure how big it would be worldwide. The names are not actually that well known outside of the UK. I mean, in the bubble that is YouTube, of course, we all know these names, and oh yes, they're very famous. But in the great scheme of things, I'm not too sure. Anyways, let me know what you think. Firstly, would you be interested in seeing that fight? Secondly, do you think that fight has anything to it? Or is this just, well, it's not just TalkSport, because TalkSport were quoting the WBO president, a fellow by the last name of Olivieri or something like that. So it's got some credibility. I hesitate to use that word when talking about people like the WBO, WBC, IBO, etc. But anyhow, for what it's worth, it's got some credibility. So let me know what you think. And that's about all from me for today. Thanks for watching, as always. Please like, share, subscribe if you can. That would be nice. And most importantly, as I always say, have a fabulous day wherever you are. Cheers. Bye-bye.